Write an engaging and emotional story based on the title. She sold her only treasure for food, but the billionaire saw something that stunned him. Begin the story with hook who joins the viewers at the end. Immediately capture attention, also motive viewers to like video and subscribe the channel. Develop the plot with emotional depth and relatable characters, including key challenges and their resolutions. Ensure the story maintains a smooth pace suitable for an 400-minute YouTube video, leaving a strong, inspiring message by the end. Plain paragraphs but long story as you can based on 2,000-word estimate. In the bustling streets of a forgotten corner of the city, where the neon lights flickered like dying stars and the air hung heavy with the scent of desperation, a young woman named Elena clutched her most prized possession, a delicate gold locket that had belonged to her late grandmother. It was her only treasure, a shimmering reminder of love lost and dreams deferred. But hunger gnawed at her insides like a relentless beast, and with her tiny daughter, Mia, tugging at her skirt, Elena made the heart-wrenching decision to sell it. Little did she know, this act of sacrifice would catch the eye of a billionaire passerby, revealing a secret that would change everything. Stick around, because this tale of heartbreak and redemption will leave you breathless. Hit that like button if you're already hooked, and subscribe for more stories that touch the soul. Elena had always been a fighter. Born into a family that scraped by on the edges of poverty, she learned early on that life wasn't fair. Her parents had passed away when she was just a teenager, leaving her to care for her younger siblings in a cramped apartment that echoed with the sounds of sirens and arguments from neighboring units. But Elena dreamed big. She worked 2 jobs. Cleaning offices by day and waitressing at a dingy diner by night, saving every penny for a better future. Then came Mia, her unexpected miracle from a fleeting romance that ended in abandonment. Mia, with her wide eyes and infectious giggle, became Elena's world. But the pandemic hit hard, jobs vanished, and bills piled up like unforgiving mountains. Food became a luxury. Elena skipped meals so Mia could eat, her own stomach rumbling in protest. The locket, passed down from her grandmother who had escaped war-torn lands with nothing but that piece of jewelry, was her last resort. It wasn't just gold, it was a symbol of resilience, engraved with a faded inscription, "Strength in the Storm." The pawn shop was a dimly lit hole in the wall, run by a grizzled old man named Mr. Hargrove, who eyed Elena with a mix of pity and opportunism. "This is antique," he muttered, squinting through his spectacles. "But times are tough. I'll give you $200. Elena's heart shattered as she nodded, tears blurring her vision. $200 meant groceries for a month, bread, milk, maybe some fruit for Mia's growing body. As she handed over the locket, her fingers lingered, as if saying goodbye to a piece of her soul. Outside, the rain poured down in sheets, mirroring the storm inside her. She hurried to the nearest supermarket, her worn coat soaked, clutching the money like a lifeline. Mia waited at home with a neighbor, probably drawing pictures of happier times. Meanwhile, across town in a towering glass skyscraper, billionaire tech mogul Alexander Voss paced his penthouse office. At 45, he had built an empire from nothing, a startup that revolutionized renewable energy, making him one of the richest men in the world. But wealth came at a cost. Divorced twice, estranged from his only son, Alex lived in isolation, surrounded by luxury that felt empty. He collected rare artifacts, not for joy, but to fill a void. That rainy afternoon, seeking distraction, he decided to wander the streets incognito, donning a simple jacket over his tailored suit. No bodyguards, no limousine, just him and the city. As he passed the pawn shop, something caught his eye through the grimy window, a gold locket, gleaming under the fluorescent lights. It looked familiar, too familiar. Alex stepped inside, the bell jingling like a distant memory. "Mr. Hargrove perked up at the sight of a potential big spender. "Interested in that locket? Just came in. Fine piece." Alex picked it up, his hands trembling slightly. The inscription, "Strength in the Storm," hit him like a thunderbolt. This wasn't just any locket, it was identical to one his own grandmother had owned, lost decades ago during his family's immigration from the same war-ravaged country as Elena's ancestors. But more than that, as he opened it, a tiny, faded photograph inside revealed a face he recognized, his great-aunt, long thought lost to history. How could this be? His family lore spoke of a twin locket, given to separated siblings during the chaos of escape. One stayed with his lineage, the other vanished. Stunned, Alex bought it on the spot for 10 times what Elena had received, his mind racing with questions. Back home, Elena unpacked the meager groceries, forcing a smile for Mia. "Look, sweetie, apples. Your favorite." But inside, she felt hollow. The locket had been her anchor, a tangible link to her heritage. That night, as Mia slept soundly, Elena wept silently, wondering if she'd ever claw her way out of this pit. Challenges mounted, the landlord threatened eviction, Mia's school fees loomed, and Elena's health faltered from malnutrition. She applied for jobs endlessly, but rejections piled up. Too inexperienced, they said, or overqualified for entry level. Relatable in her struggles, Elena represented so many single mothers fighting invisible battles, their resilience tested daily. The next day, Alex couldn't shake the locket's mystery. He hired a private investigator to trace its origins, starting with the pawn shop's records. It led straight to Elena, her name, address, a grainy security photo. Intrigued and compelled by a sense of fate, Alex decided to meet her. Not as a billionaire savior, but as a man seeking answers. He knocked on her door that evening, the locket in his pocket. Elena opened it warily, Mia peeking from behind her legs. "Can I help you?" she asked, exhaustion etching lines on her face. Alex introduced himself simply as Alex, no last name, no fanfare. "I bought something from the pawn shop yesterday." "This locket, it belonged to you?" Elena's eyes widened in shock and sorrow. "Yes, but I had to sell it." "Why?" Over a cup of cheap tea in her tiny kitchen, Alex shared the story of his family's lost heirloom. As he revealed the photograph, Elena gasped. "That's my great-aunt. My grandmother told stories of a twin locket, separated during the war. The pieces clicked, their families were connected, distant relatives torn apart by history." But what stunned Alex wasn't just the lineage, it was Elena's quiet strength. Here was a woman who had sacrificed everything for her child, mirroring the tales of survival in his own ancestry. Emotional depth surged as they talked late into the night. Elena opened up about her hardships, the loneliness of single parenthood, the fear of failing Mia, the dreams she buried under daily survival. Alex, for the first time in years, shared his own vulnerabilities, the regret of prioritizing work over family, the emptiness of billions without connection. Mia, sensing the shift, crawled into Elena's lap, her innocent questions bridging the gap between stranger and kindred spirit. "Why do you look sad, mister?" she asked Alex, who smiled through unshed tears. But challenges weren't resolved easily. Alex offered help, a job at his company, perhaps financial aid, but Elena hesitated. "I don't want charity," she said firmly. "I've fought for everything." Relatable pride clashed with necessity. Alex respected that, instead proposing a partnership. Elena's story inspired him to launch a foundation for single parents, and he wanted her input, her voice. It wasn't handouts, it was empowerment. Slowly, trust built. Elena accepted an entry-level position in community outreach, where her experiences shone. She faced office politics, imposter syndrome, but her determination won over colleagues. Mia thrived in a better school, her laughter filling their new, modest apartment, courtesy of Elena's hard-earned salary, not gifts.